Let's start this video with a confession, and my confession is that I haven't washed this running top in 3 weeks. I've run in it for probably, I don't know, maybe up to 10 hours, maybe over 30 miles in it. I've done a lot of sweating in this top. But the crazy thing is, it doesn't smell of sweat, which is insane. I don't know if you can tell right now, but I am sucking in my gut. Like my life depends on it, because we are now into that cozy base layer season. I love wearing base layers. My favourite combination for this cooler time of year is a base layer, preferably one based in merino, and a nice lightweight waterproof jacket over the top. I find that combination keeps me warm and comfortable in a massive variety of conditions right through autumn, through into spring. And today I've got a new base layer to show you, because this is the Harrier trail running Thorpe base layer. And the question I want to ask is, will this take the crown from my current other favourite base layer that I've been wearing for the last couple of years? It's going to be a tough crown to take, because that other base layer is also a highly technical garment, really well made. So I'll do a little bit of a versus at the end of the video, but this base layer has got some features in it that I've never seen before on a base layer, which is going to make that competition tight. Let me give you a quick example. The sleeves on this, I pull them up, I've got thumb loops, right? Pretty sweet. But not only have I got thumb loops, if my little fingies start to get too cold and I've forgotten my gloves, I can just do this. It's got built-in mitts. How cool is that? Both sides. We've all been there, we've all forgotten our gloves, and have all kind of like shrunken our hands up into the inside of our base layers to try and get warm. But now you've got that, like, flip it over the top. The other feature this has that I haven't seen in other base layers is it's got a zip. I find if I run in just a base layer on its own, if the wind suddenly drops or the sun suddenly comes out, you get really warm. And this zip lets you do two things. One, you can zip it down and you can vent a lot of heat. But two, it allows you to fold down the collar, and then you can turn your base layer into a somewhat formal shirt for special occasions. Not sure that was that was intentional. But when you zip this up, it does come up quite high, right around your throat. So it keeps your neck quite warm. A lot of base layers are just sort of round tops that end about here, and they don't come up and warm your neck as well. This does. This particular base layer is, I think, 68% merino. I'll talk about what's so good about merino once we go for a little bit of a run, but it's 68% merino, and then it's blended with a technical fibre. Now, you might think, why not 100% merino? Well, I've got some 100% merino base layers, and they are itchy. Little bit itchy, and they also don't flex and stretch and expand and sort of hug your body in the same way. So by taking merino and blending it with a technical fibre, you're kind of, you know, it's a booster. You're getting the benefits of modern technical materials plus the benefits of merino. So let's go for a little bit of a run. I'll talk about why base layers are so good. I'll talk about why merino in specifically is so good, and then at the end I will compare this base layer to the one that I love, and I've been wearing for the last 2 years. Get my running pack on, and the benefit of putting my running pack on is I can take the microphone off here and attach it down here so I don't look like quite as much of a prat. So, full disclosure, Harrier Trail Running send me products for free to test and review. They also give me a discount code that I can share with people, and I get a bit of a percentage from those sales, which helps support this channel and helps me to keep making these videos. Harrier have not paid me to make this review. They have not paid me to say anything particular about this product, and they do not get to see these videos before I publish them. So I say whatever it is that I want to say. So hopefully that makes things clear. Okay, let's take this for a run. I'm gonna go run about 10 miles and we'll see how it performs on this a rather chilly 1st of November. It's 6 degrees Celsius. There's about a 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing through, and I'm following the mantra of be bold, start cold. The whole idea behind that is, if you start running when you feel warm, you'll sweat, and when you sweat, everything will get damp,
and then you'll end up feeling colder. So be bold, start slightly cold, but it'll be good to see how I can manage my temperature wearing mostly just this base layer. Now when it comes to sort of temperature management when running, the way I tend to do things are, well, when it gets warmer, you vent. So I would pull down the zip, I'd roll up my sleeves, and then when it starts to get colder, I warm my core and my extremities first of all. So currently it's a little bit chilly, my hands do feel slightly chilly, so I'm going to grab that mitt, pull that over the top, and that keeps my hands warm. If they still feel a little bit cold, I have a pair of gloves I'll stick on over the top. Oh, that is a very, very chilly wind. Now, my face does feel a bit cold at the minute, but having this zip up around my neck here, I'm warm from here down my neck, but it is cold around here. So I might stick a little tube scarf over the top of this. But let's talk about what is so good about Merino. There we go. That's what I did. My face was a bit cold, so I stuck on a tube scarf over my head, put my hat over the top. If I find that adds a lot of extra heat, and I'm going to stick these on. These are actually Merino gloves. These aren't actual proper running gloves. These are just Merino liner gloves. I get these in Decathlon. They're pretty cheap. Harrier haven't launched their range of Merino running gloves yet. I don't know if they're ever going to, but you know, there's an idea, right? So just those little additions, tube scarf, gloves on, I feel a lot more comfortable now with just this base layer. So what is it that's so good about Merino? Well, wool was the material of choice for warm clothing for centuries, if not millennia. Wool is just such a good natural fabric, but we stop. It's so windy up here. Wool as a material is one of those things that kind of was really, really popular a long time ago. I mean, everybody wore woolen clothes to stay warm, and then technical fabrics came along which were lighter and had other properties, and then everybody moved away from wool. Plus wool is very itchy, or at least it normally is. But Merino wool is the type of wool, how many times am I going to say wool, that has got people rediscovering the love of wool and the unique properties that wool has. Because Merino wool is, I think it must have finer fibers or something, but it's not itchy, and it can be woven really, really finely and small. I mean, look at these gloves, they look like they're synthetic. This top looks like it's, you know, it's very finely woven. It looks like it's cotton or something synthetic. It doesn't look like your grandma's woolly jumper. So it's a fabric that's perfect for more technical products, and when you blend it with a technical synthetic fiber, you then get the best of both worlds. So this is 70% merino wool, and then it's blended with, I can't remember the name of the fiber, but the synthetic fiber basically gives it some kind of flexibility and a little bit of stretch, so it allows it to kind of be more figure hugging. 100% merino wool products I have tested. I do have 100% merino wool base layer, and the problem with it is that there's no real stretch in it, and once you wear it and you do stretch it a bit, it kind of ends up out of shape. So blending in that technical fiber has, I'm warming up now, could take this down, has advantages. But I think one of the most incredible benefits with merino is that it doesn't smell. It doesn't take on body odor, at least not for a very long time. I mean, I'm 3 weeks into wearing this, and I've been doing the ultimate stress test. I've gone out, I've worn it for a couple of hours at a time, and then I've gone home, I've dumped it on the floor, and that's it. Dumped it in a bundle on the floor. I haven't aired it, I haven't tumble dried it, I didn't even dry it properly. Literally just dumped base layer off, dumped on the floor, picked it up a week later, put it on, wore it, dumped it, picked it up this morning and put it back on, and it still doesn't smell sweaty. It is unbelievable. Why I really like that is, well, it saves a fortune in washing if you only have to wash your base layer every so often. It will eventually smell, but if I'm out and I'm doing like in a multi-day fast packing trip, it means I don't smell like an absolute swamp monster the entire time, because my clothes don't smell. Just did a little weather check there, and with the current wind, the wind chill today is 1 degree Celsius, about 0 to 1 degree Celsius. So I'm out running 1 Celsius above freezing, and I've just got this base layer on, and I'm pretty comfortable at the minute. If it got much windier, I'd probably start to get cold, but I'm pretty comfortable. Now, the race vest does add a bit of heat as well, so I suspect if I didn't have the race vest on, I would be feeling cold. So Merino is quite good for regulating temperature, and while it's not like a really super windbreaker or anything like that, it does cut the wind enough and I'm not absolutely freezing. But another advantage of Merino is that it's one of those materials that still insulates when it gets damp. So if I sweat in this a bit, it's still going to be insulating me. Whereas a lot of synthetic fabrics, once you get them damp, once you get them wet, there's no longer any heat in them, and in fact sometimes it feels like they're actually drawing the heat out of your body. Merino doesn't do that in the same way. So if it continued to get cold, I have another windbreaker layer in my backpack that I put on over the top of this. Very breathable. I think it's not waterproof, it's just a windbreaker layer, and those two layers together would have me out running like in sub-zero temperatures, in safe places like this. And then if I knew it was going to rain, or it did start to rain, I've got a light waterproof jacket in there as well. So I find Merino as a base layer is a really good fabric for using as part of a system to layer up. Here's an important question: can I operate a phone touchscreen with these? Yeah. Just in case you're wondering where I'm running today, this is a route called the Dungonal Way. It's in the Glens of Antrim, and it's a 10-mile route that's on a lot of sort of very minor roads and also forest track. So I always think this is a really good route for somebody who's a road runner who's thinking about getting into trail, because about 6, 7 of the miles are on very quiet roads that are a little bit rough underfoot in places, and then the rest of it's forest trails. I like this route when I feel like I want a bit of variation. I don't want to just be staring at a forest park, because it gets you way up high into the hills. We started at the highest point, which is why it was so cold up there and so windy, and now we're heading down to the lowest point. We'll go past a reservoir, we'll go into a forest, so it's a really nice mix of terrain and a good place to give a bit of technical clothing a proper test.
You can't go home, you can't go home, but you can find another shelter you can call your own. Run, 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 run to the edge unbroken.
This is the village of Cargan. I was running along there and this car came in behind me, white car, pulled over, and I thought, oh no, somebody's going to give me grief for running out in front of them in the road or something. And it turns out it was some subscribers who are out trying to walk this very route I'm running today, and they did not plan ahead, and they saw me and they thought, oh, we'll just ask him for directions then. Can't enjoy your run these days without somebody stopping you at the side of the road and asking you for directions.
Hello.
It's good to see people do their preparation before they set out on a hike.
No, we didn't. That's why we asked you.
Honestly, these opportunists. I do hope they don't get lost though. I've tried to point them in the right direction, but well, this is what these people look like in case you see them on the news having gone missing.
Yep.
I've done my best.
Yep.
Good luck. All right, best of luck in your hike.
You'll probably find us lost up there somewhere.
Right,
Bye, Stephen.
see ya. Oh well, we'll see what happens. Nice little route this. I am starting. It's getting warm. There we go. That's better. It's amazing the temperature difference between down here and up the top. Oh, that's handy. You can undo the zip with a combination of your teeth and your hands. Whew, right. Bit of uphill running again. Up to the Dungonal Dam. This is a unpleasant 2-mile climb. Hi sheep. It's really warming up. I'm pulling the sleeves up. There we go. I'm now in full venting mode. I've got the zip open. I got my sleeves rolled up and I'm venting heat. It's crazy. Just the difference in temperature. Whew. I like this little road. It's unpleasant and it's uphill, but it's got some nice views.
You can't push time. You can't push time. But you can ride out every wave like an alibi. Your past won't leave. Your past won't leave. It'll stay with them like it stays with me.
Hi sheep! What's the crack?
You won't break free. You won't break free. 'Cause death is gonna get you like it's gonna get me.
This route used to be fully marked with those little signs, but I don't know, maybe the wind or whatever means that most of them are missing now. There's only a few left, which is really confusing if you're trying to find your way around here, you know, without planning it properly or without having a map. Not that I'm thinking of anyone in particular. We're almost up at the reservoir.
Run, run, just run, run to the edge unbroken. Run, 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 run to the edge unbroken.
Ugh. Alright, this is me onto the forest trail now, and this bit's usually a bit of a boggy, splashy mess. Trying to keep my feet dry. Oh no, no chance. Okay, I've got zero chance to keep my feet dry, so the very least I can do is put this camera into slow motion and let you enjoy some glorious slow motion splashy water running shots. Well, that's my feet totally soaked. I'd hope to avoid that because, well, if feet get wet, they get cold, and I'm not wearing particularly warm shoes. They're very breathable shoes, but they're not warm. All right, into the woods. Oh. This forest has been a little bit of an obstacle course today. They felled trees up there, which meant all the trees behind are now vulnerable to the wind, so but fun getting through it. Alright, that's me done. 10 miles in the bag. Give you my final thoughts on this Baselayer. There's not that much to say. I mean, it's worked exactly as you'd want a Baselayer to work. I was out all day, as I said, the temperature, the feels like temperature, once you take the wind chill into consideration, probably ranged from about 1 degree Celsius all the way up to 6, 7. I never at any point felt the need for another layer to put on. I just kind of put my gloves on, I put my buff on, adjusted my hat. Your mileage may vary depending on how much additional natural insulation you have, but yeah, this has been perfect today. The little thumb
loops. Genuinely useful. Been able to flip this over and keep my hands warm. Genuinely useful. I mean, I did have those little merino gloves that I took on and off, but there was a couple of times my hands got a bit colder and I was able to just bring that over the top of the gloves. So I had the gloves plus that, so it kind of doubled up the warmth. So that worked, yeah, that worked really, really well. Been able to ventilate it with a zip and just dump heat when I did too. Like, fantastic. And then when it got warm, I was able to pull the sleeves up a bit and dump a load of heat off you. You actually lose a lot of heat from your forearms. Don't underestimate it. I find if I have gloves on, I can have gloves on, and if I'm a bit warm, pull this up, and yeah, there's a lot of heat. You know, it's quite a bit of surface area of bare skin to dump heat. So I was really, really easily able to manage my temperature in this. And it was handy because I've never had a base layer that lets me zip up as high as this. I have another base layer, and I'll talk about it more in a second. And it's just like a normal round neck. So you always have to have something else to, you know, if you want to have your neck warm. Whereas, see the difference between this opened up and this? There's a significant difference in warmth just with doing that. So having that collar's really nice. Any concerns about it? Yeah, my only concern about this would be because it's got extra features. It means I question, is the lifespan going to be as long as a more simple design? Because, you know, zips can break, and also because you've got this, you know, this thumb thing here. When you put your thumb in, you're stretching the fabric a bit. You're stretching the fabric when you pull that over, and I wonder over time if you do that, you know, is that gonna, you know, weaken the stitches, and maybe something might give in that area. But that's a fairly minor concern. So how does this compare to the other base layer that I've been using the last few years? So I've been using the base layer last few years from a brand called Lumi, Scottish brand. Really nice base layer. It's more expensive than this, but £20 more expensive. So how does that compare? So honestly, the Lumi base layer is slightly more comfortable, but I think it's maybe because, maybe comfortable is the wrong word. Maybe cozy. I think cozy is maybe the right word, because I've got no complaints about the comfort. Yeah, the Lumi one's thicker. It's slightly thicker material. It's a bit tighter maybe as well, slightly stretchier. So it feels like it's slightly more of a second skin. But the disadvantage with it is it doesn't have, you know, you can't dump heat, doesn't have those extra features, and it's £20 more expensive. So I think what I'm going to do going forward, I think this for me is going to be the perfect base layer for my trail running, because just of those extra features, it just makes it better for running. And I'll probably end up keeping my other base layer now for hiking and things like that, where I'm moving slower and I'm not going to need to actually dump heat from the base layer. So yeah, really impressed with this. And if you still doesn't smell, that's mad. And if you want to pick one up for your trail running, I've got a 10% discount code, which is SJR10 from the Harrier website. Thanks for watching this video. I think the next video I'm going to make, oh yes, the next video I'm going to make is, I've always wanted to try this. I'm going to make my own energy gel using an ancient recipe. So that's what's coming up. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.